Hello, everyone. An unexpected character that the boys brought back calls attention to one of the main plot holes in the show. Despite being set in a superhero-filled world, The Boys is a brutally realistic television program that exposes the dark, violent, and bizarre realities of such a society. The complicated characters at the center of The Boys' distinctively dark takes on superhero cliches have helped it stay grounded. But as the series has progressed, it has also come to recognize a narrative flaw that innumerable other stories with deadly outcomes and graphic elements have. Season 4 highlights how widespread this issue has become and how The Boys' ensemble of characters plays a significant role in it. It's something that The Boys has actively been able to explain through character choices. Although The Boys is still a great show, it can't escape the fact that the show's stakes have changed. In Season 4 of The Boys, Edgar makes a casual remark that highlights how absurd it is that none of the main characters have yet to die. In the first season of The Boys, Butcher and Frenchie were presented as members of the covert group, which eventually recruited Huey and Kimiko. Despite the often fatal outcomes of their missions and the superior might of their adversaries. As Victoria, his estranged daughter, and Edgar have both noted, the crew hasn't necessarily gotten any better at what they do throughout the series. The fact that the entire group has survived is actually highlighted in Beware of the Jabberwock, My Son, as being extremely bizarre. Even as the main characters perfectly avoid danger, a number of anonymous characters who share the same mortality as MM and Frenchie suffer horrifying deaths at the hands of the Compound V-tested animals. Throughout the season, the team has repeatedly avoided certain deaths, only for last-minute saves to preserve their existence. It's honestly shocking that nobody has died yet, considering how vicious characters like Homelander can be. This begs the question of how the show plans to maintain the high stakes moving forward. Given that The Boys' 5th season is slated to conclude the show, it appears improbable that any major character will be killed off in the second half of Season 4. It would seem cheesy for a character to pass away right before the season finale, considering how quickly the season progresses and how much the group is focused on learning from their past transgressions. Rather, the show's intention to wrap up each character's story in the finale is suggested by the announcement of a 5th and final season. Consequently, The Boys no longer seem to care about Butcher's dire prognosis. Storytelling demands that Butcher takes center stage, so it's unlikely that The Boys will end without him. With their bare hands, Homelander and the majority of his superpowered allies could literally tear The Boys to pieces, but they refuse to give in. The Boys have done an excellent job of incorporating restraint into their character decisions. Even so, tension is affected when viewers start to take it for granted that the main characters will always be one step ahead of the action. It becomes an issue when characters within the universe are able to identify that. It's a fundamental component of tales like The Boys and a conflicting theme that the show is still addressing. Any story needs strong characters to keep the audience interested, but especially stories like The Boys with dark plots and gloomy turns. Establishing that takes time, but The Boys have done it with excellent writing and performances. In this aspect, The Boys have excelled, with each of the 5 main boys as well as later addition Starlight demonstrating a level of complexity and compelling character that propels the program and holds viewers' interest. But as a result, they've encountered an unbelievable amount of perilous circumstances, and the heroes consistently emerge mainly unscathed. The season's tension is affected as a result. When Huey manages to get out of Homelander's clutches with outside assistance, or when the boys themselves happen to avoid being the target of the super sheep, the stakes don't seem as high. The thing that breaks the tension of disbelief in an otherwise absurd show is its unrealistic element. Because the heroes have already experienced so much survival, audiences are less alarmed, even as the battles get harder and more dangerous. The Boys Season 4 is unlikely to kill anyone off early, but the final Season 5 might be more willing to do so. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.